We got James on the camera right now. So we're going to get into some lighting techniques. Now, a large part of the lighting techniques that we're going to explain to you and show to you guys is stuff that we use in our studio on a day-to-day basis. It's stuff that we use for babies and families, portraiture. We're going to show you the exact lighting setups that we use. But we want to start off, first of all, getting into some of the theory of lighting, some of the more technical stuff, and some of the more philosophical angles to lighting. I think it's a pretty important stuff to at least try and get a handle on. When I started into photography, and James as well, lighting was like one of the hardest things to really wrap my mind around and really get an understanding of what it was all about. I'm 46 years old now, and every year that goes by, I think to myself, oh, I got it, I finally got it, I understand lighting. And the next year I go, oh, geez, I don't have it. It's one of those areas that is, I think it's a lifelong quest. So hopefully this video will help you in many respects. Also, we're going to start, I'm going to show you some of the funkier stuff that you can do with lighting. It's not the stuff that we use on a day-to-day basis, but it's good stuff to know anyways, like some of the fashion lighting and some of the more obscure lighting techniques. So that, as well as the theoretical stuff, we're going to start off at the beginning, get it out of the way, and then we're going to get into some actual posing and more functional day-to-day bread and butter stuff. But let's look at the word photography. Photography means photography. Photo meaning light. It's got to do with photons or something like that. Graphy is some Latin derivative of a word that meant painting or graphics. So we're painting with light is what we're doing. So lighting is very, very important, obviously. Lighting is a big part of what photography is all about, hence this video. Hopefully it solves all your solutions. Right, James? We're done. Okay. Cut. Wrap. So anyways, I just want to talk about some of the theory about lighting. Lighting is influenced by three main factors. And I'm going to try and bring these up as we get into actual setups with actual lighting displays. But the three factors that influence lighting are these: distance, light source, and angle. Distance meaning how far away is the light source from your subject. So if you took a big, large softbox, which was very soft, but you put it about 300 feet away, it in effect becomes very small because it's a very small point of light at that point in time. So a large softbox is no longer a large softbox if it's 200-300 feet away. It's now a small point of light. So the distance of the light source to the subject has a strong effect on the ultimate look of that lighting. The closer the light source is, the softer the edge transfer will be. Edge transfer meaning the difference from the light source, say on the main light, to the shadow side. Sometimes it's a sharp line, sometimes it's a soft line. If you bring a softbox in really, really close to the subject, that transfer will be very, very subtle, hence being a soft transfer. So this is controlled obviously by distance. So distance is the one area that really influences the look of the lighting. What's the other two? I forgot already. Source, the actual light source itself. Is it a small point of light? Is it a very focused point of light? Is it a spotlight? Is it a bare bulb? Is it a reflector? Is it a softbox? Is it an umbrella? Etc., etc. These things obviously, combined with the distance where it's placed, will have a large effect on the actual outcome. And finally, we're going to talk about the angle. So the angle that the light is coming down onto the subject. Angles are important. That's one of our lights right there that James is going to show the angle. The angle will affect the look of the light. So angle, distance, light source. Those are the only three things that affect lighting as the fundamentals go. So, having said that, I think we got it all. Oh yeah, I just want to talk one more thing about there's two basic approaches, and they will come up repeatedly in this video series, and that is a large part of how we shoot in wedding and portraiture. There are structured approaches to lighting, most of which you will see in the studio. And the studio is very controlled. Everything is meticulously placed. And the other approach is, the comparison that I like to use is, say if you're jamming in a blues band. A lot of musicians struggle with jamming because what jamming is all about is coming up with expressions musically within certain scales, within certain beats. And to compare that to lighting, when you're shooting what we like to call freestyle, you're working with lighting where you're trying to come up with results instantly, absolutely instantly, in a non-structured way. So there's a very structured way, which is in the studio, and then the freestyle approach, which is happening mostly on weddings, where you're making instant decisions with your lighting situation as well as what's going on with the scene and the pose and creating a nice-looking picture. This doesn't happen gratuitously. You have to have a certain amount of skill set to know how to shoot freestyle to create good lighting results. And I like to use the music analogy because I think it's very important. A musician who is really good at expressing him or herself, especially with blues and jazz, has a lot of technical mastery, which you'll need in photography, as well as a lot of heart and soul. You have to have a lot of feeling. So you combine the two, and you come up with a very strong sense of what freestyle is all about. In the next video, where we get into working with natural light, we're going to get into more of that and explain that further. But this whole video now is going to be dealing strictly with studio and the different light sources. So we're going to start off with, we're going to go through all the different types of light. And we're going to start off with the, like I said earlier, some of the funkier stuff to the more functional stuff. Funky to functional. Okay, so we're going to, in a minute, we're going to get Renee in here, our model. So see you in a second.